Right. We are live. Let me get my screen shared. Yeah, it's good to be back. How are we all doing? Let me know, of course, in the comments who we've got with us today. Actually, I do need to just go and do something. Hang on. But yeah, let me know in the comments who we've got with us. Of course, we are live. MicroStrategy just increased their USD reserves to 2.2 billion. Is that true? Yeah, they have, yeah. Well, they're pulling money out of thin air, these, aren't they? What am I doing? There we go. Yeah, how are we all? Let me get this going. Yeah, it's good to be back. Of course, we haven't been on a stream since Wednesday, have we? We haven't been on a stream since Wednesday, so we've got a lot to catch up on. Lawrence, mate, you're the only one on YouTube at the moment. You're the only one on YouTube at the moment. Thank you for joining, mate. It's a pleasure and an honor. Oh no, we've got John Brown in as well. Hello to you, legends. Great to see you all. Great to see you. What do I do with this bloody bubble? So yeah, obviously, Merry Christmas. First and foremost, Merry Christmas. We are just days away, aren't we, from Santa blessing us with Christmas Day. So yeah, first and foremost, hope everyone is going to have a nice Christmas. Hopefully you've got something nice planned, a nice relaxing time as well. Of course, do enjoy the rest before we move into 2026. But yeah, we've got plenty to discuss today. Obviously, we'll have a look to see what Bitcoin's been doing. I do think Bitcoin is going to try and do something before the end of the year. I am getting that vibe that it's going to try and do something. MSTR is pushing. They have increased their USD reserves to 2.2 billion. So MSTR is in a pretty good spot. MicroStrategy seem like they're in a good spot. Please do, of course, make sure you drop a big like on the stream. That will help me out massively. But yeah, just popping some messages in Discord. Yeah, let me know, obviously, who else we've got in the chat. I know we've got Lawrence and we've got John. Let me know who else we've got with us. But yeah, Bitcoin breaking back above $90,000. So that's obviously a good sign. Andy, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Thank you for joining. But yeah, Bitcoin's getting its push on. And I think, typically now, when you look at the daily, for me, I think this is a good sign, obviously, in what we've formed so far with this range. And I think definitely the fact that, we've come down here, we tested it again last week, didn't we? And then pushed back up. I do think it's a good sign. And I think personally, again, it's not financial advice, of course, and it's just kind of my gut feeling. But I do think that I would be inclined to say that we're going to explore the upside of this range before the downside. That is going to be kind of my view on this, is that I think as it stands now, there's a better chance of us exploring 95, 96, 97, maybe towards 100, instead of exploring 80, 79, 88, 78, etc. That's my view on it at the moment. I think, definitely the fact that we held back down there is a good sign for sure. So yeah, I'm kind of looking, and I do think, obviously that there is a chance that we do get an upside move into the end of the year with the last kind of like 8 to 9 days of this year. I do think it's possible that we could see Bitcoin at, 96, 97, maybe even, 98, 99, 100 before the end of the year. I do definitely think that's possible with how it's lining up now, structure-wise. And again, that can change, can't it, by a simple breakdown of demand. But yeah, I think it's looking all right. But yeah, thank you for joining me anyway, and Merry Christmas too, by the way. Get your comments in, of course. Please do drop a like on the stream. I'll tell you what we are gonna do is before we do obviously the poll for US Open and stuff, I want to know your views on if you think Bitcoin is going to close the year red or green. So obviously the yearly open is marked on screen, $93,500. I pull up the yearly candle. Obviously currently ever so slightly red. Do you think, and let me just get a fresh chart. There you go. Do you think that this candle is going to close red or green? It's definitely the wildest yearly candle we may have even ever had on Bitcoin, given obviously the kind of 50k price swing on it. I would say it's definitely the wildest yearly candle we've had. But do you think it's going to close red or green? Do get your vote in the chat on the poll. And then, of course, after we've done that, we'll get the US Open poll out. But yeah, I think it's looking all right. It's looking all right. It's looking not too bad. Now, of course, we move on to altcoins. We've got Solana back up at 126. This had a this went fairly low, didn't it? Yeah, it went all the way down to 117/16. There. ETH, the same. Obviously, went back sub 2.8. And then, of course, similar vibe for other alts in it. They just kind of got trashed last week before we got some relief. Zek doing the work. Stonksy green on Zek again from 400, doing some nice work, over 10% up. Yeah, do make sure you get your comments in. Get your likes in. I want to hear from everyone. Asta back at 72. This got trashed as well, didn't it? Same for everything, though. Same for everything. Everything got trashed, didn't it? But I think all in all, things are looking like they're potentially, gonna be on the up, maybe for into the new year. I definitely wouldn't say it's out of question. Aave is having a tank at the moment, isn't it? Where's Aave back down to? Let's see. So Aave all the way back down to the But I mean, it's good to see obviously the market responding well to Bitcoin's slight push up. Altcoins doing well. I need to clear this watch list out as well going into the new year. I need to get rid of all these ones that have obviously been pulled up from people asking me to look at stuff. But I do think, going into the new year as well, stock market looks in a good place as well, doesn't it? This looks really good to go and break, 7,000 and above. So the conditions are definitely there. Just kind of Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin gets its mojo on, it will be very clear, won't it? It'll be very clear that it's got its mojo on. But yeah, let's see how it goes anyway. But yeah, let me know how you've been. What's everyone been up to? What's everyone doing for Christmas? What are kind of like your Christmas Day traditions? What are you planning on doing on Christmas Day? Do let me know. Because we are just, 3 days away from Christmas, aren't we? Christmas Day on Thursday. Hello, Nick. How are we doing, my boy? Great to see you, legend. Thank you for joining, Nick. Nick, you just voted green then, didn't you? I'm guessing because the poll changed from 50-50 into green. So I'm guessing you voted green anyway. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. But yeah, Nick, great to see you, mate. Of course, please do drop a like, because we are definitely in YouTube jail at the moment because of the switch up in streaming. So we're definitely in YouTube jail at the moment, and it would be good to get out of that. Yeah. But yeah, I think, generally overall, we've definitely had a very quiet time, haven't we? And especially with how this has fell coming into Christmas and end of year, I think probably you guys, obviously, that have showed up here are still active and still, still doing the work and still keeping in touch. But I think probably what you'll see now is a lot of people kind of lose touch with the market over the next kind of 1 to 2 weeks. But anyone, that stays in touch with it, stays active, you guys will be the ones that are best positioned going into 2026. Of course, have a break, have a breather and stuff like that. But you still want to kind of keep in tune with what's going on, don't you? Otherwise, you may lose the opportunity. US lawmakers push IRS to rethink crypto staking taxes before 2026. So that's quite interesting. I think it's been... what's this? Quantum computing fears resurface over Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin stash. A renewed debate over quantum computing raises questions about whether Satoshi's Bitcoin could be hacked and what it would mean for Bitcoin markets. That would be the biggest black swan in history, wouldn't it? That would undoubtedly send Bitcoin. Well, I mean, I don't know. We don't know, do we? Because it's a completely hypothetical situation with no previous data. But I mean, if that ever happened, I suppose the good thing is it would be a one-time thing. So even what's that? What's this? It's just popped up. Even if yeah, even if this happened, it would be a one-time thing, wouldn't it? It would be a one-time thing, and then obviously that kind of whole situation would be done and over. Now, what it would bring is obviously probably a minus 90% drop on Bitcoin, maybe 95%. Who knows? I mean, let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Obviously, if someone ended up getting hold of Satoshi's Bitcoin, 4 million Bitcoin. Well, not even. I don't think he's got 4 million, has he? I can't remember how much has Satoshi got. Is it 1 million? But obviously, talk about the rest of the kind of lost Bitcoin, which sits around 4 million Bitcoin. Yeah, so they got 1 million. I mean, yeah, that would probably send Bitcoin back because of the whole situation as well. Can you imagine the fear and panic in the market? It would be the maddest black swan ever, but I suppose, it's possible. Now, let me know, would you rather it happen and be able to scoop up Bitcoin very extremely, probably cheapest price we'd ever see again? Or would you rather it stay safe and kind of never happen? That would be crazy, though. Grayscale predicts Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high in the first half of 2026. I think there's a lot of people there's a lot of talk, isn't there? I think there's definitely a lot of talk and a lot of speculation around kind of that same vibe. You've obviously got ever-present Tom Lee Bull saying new highs for the market next year, but definitely around these institutions. They are putting all the noise out into saying that they think obviously next year will be bullish for Bitcoin. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it is, I suppose, up for you to decide. If all the institutions are putting out one kind of narrative, do you think that's a good thing for the market and it's bullish, or do you think, are they kind of putting that out to try and trick retail, and maybe they're taking the opposite stance? I don't know how I feel. Yeah, I always think it's a very conflicting thing, that, because you definitely argue, for a bullish 2026, but also these institutions don't like to lose, do they? So it's kind of like, if it's true, they're basically just giving everyone free money at the moment by saying, next year we're going to go above 126k. We think. So if you buy now, it's basically free money. Basically like free a 30-40% upside from here. Will it work out like that? I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's always kind of my reservation on that. Is just, these big institutions and big banks and stuff, they say one thing, but in privately could very well be doing the opposite. Hence how they are so powerful and make so much money. But yeah, if you did miss it as well, obviously last Wednesday when we last streamed, we did make the 10 best Christmas film list. Now, if you disagree with any of these, let me know. I think this Love Actually one, I'll be honest, I can't really remember. I know I was just... Who was it that was asking for Love Actually? I think it was James or someone else in the chat. So I just stuck it on there. I don't know if that belongs at number 2 or whether we should have it further down. I'm kind of thinking we should have it further down because I don't even remember what the whole film's about. But do you think that there's anything missing off this list? Of course, give it a little bit of a Christmas twist to the stream as well. Review that list now quickly, and do that. And there's also other ones I've not watched. Like, I haven't watched Jingle All the Way, but I don't know what I'd replace it with. Personally, I think I'd probably put Die Hard over maybe Grinch as well. I don't know. Like, I really wouldn't need to watch Die Hard this week. I haven't watched it yet this year. Tell you what, if you could put like TV Christmas specials in there as films, then I'd definitely have a few good ones to put on there as well. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, what else have we got going on? These markets have been up and down non-stop, haven't they? Just look at the volatility in the whole who will Trump nominate as the next Fed chair probabilities. These are just flexing up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, there is actually one for if Bitcoin, obviously, the vote. The vote on the chat that I've got, there actually is one for Bitcoin on Polymarket, which is, will Bitcoin close the year red or green? That's pretty wild, isn't it? That's pretty wild. Like, you've got, will Bitcoin hit 100k before 2027 at 83%, which seems a bit mad. Like, that seems too lowly priced, I think. I mean, I wouldn't take it because you're running at a fit for the odds. If you put $1,000 on that, you're winning 186. The risk reward is minimal in it. But you've got just over a year and a tiny bit for it to hit 100k. It seems a bit crazy, that. But that's not the one I'm interested in. There is one where I don't know where it is, but there is one on here somewhere where it's, will Bitcoin's yearly candle close red or green? I just don't know where it is. But yeah, obviously for the poll that we got in the chat, that is pretty much the same. So most people, 8 votes in the chat, 62% are at green. So most of you guys, well, not most, just over half of you think that we are going to have a green yearly close, which would put Bitcoin just above 93.5k. It'd be very interesting to see what happens because, yeah, I mean, it's not too far away, is it? And obviously, the more we approach here, it could just flip slightly up, slightly below. It would be quite mad if it closed almost bang on, if it just got pinned around 93.5 and then just ever so slightly closed one or the other. MSTR is up 3%. Pre-market, Coinbase is up almost 3%. Circle's doing well, still leading its recovery. And Gemini, which had a great rally last week, didn't it? Kind of come back all the way back down, but nonetheless had a good rally. What's been going on? Let's see if I've missed anything. Let's see if we've missed anything at all. Let's see. In the past 24 hours, okay? So we've got something called Beat, which is up 43%. Mix is back up. Something called Night is up 12%. Curve, CRV. So there are things moving. We'll have a look at some memes in a minute. Let's see to the downside. We've got CC. Some of these I don't even know. You know, some of these are in the top 100. I have no idea what AB is. I have no idea what CC is. There was a time when I knew basically, you know, I could look at the top 100 and know every single coin. But there's a lot of stuff that kind of like pushes itself into it. I have no idea what it is anymore. I was going to look at something now. What was I going to do? Oh, it was memes, yeah. Let's move ahead and look at some memes. Who got, SPX up 4% today. Let's put this on the daily for reference. I mean, this came back down. You know, good little double bottom potentially there, isn't it? This thing actually came all the way to my level, to be fair. I didn't even have an alert on for that. If I would have had an alert on, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but so that's 22% upside. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put it in white. But that was kind of the range I had for this coin, for it to tag into eventually, and it actually did come and do it. And yeah, I didn't even notice. Fartcoin back down towards 30. Oh, missed that on Fartcoin. I missed that on Fartcoin again. You know, that would have been 20% up already from here. Oh well. Pengu's all the way down there though. I still haven't taken. I know I discussed, didn't I, about taking a position on Pengu. I still haven't yet. I don't know if I will, but it's definitely one that interests me for sure. How it looks structurally. I mean, if you look at the daily, let's zoom out on good old Pengu. It's kind of it's back to the origin, isn't it? Which is obviously what you normally see on when you look at market structure, is obviously origin of a rally. Mark up, mark down, back to the origin, and then kind of go again. I think structurally that looks all right. I think. Again, Fartcoin, even though it's bounced, I think a lot of these, when you actually zoom out like that, a lot of them have come into fairly good areas. I think, not necessarily suggesting it's a definite buy. I mean, there's some things that I think you look at and you think, dear God. I mean, can you ever see this doing anything ever again? I really don't know. I mean, the fact that this was once around $4 is crazy, isn't it? And it's been a long time, hasn't it, since we had a runner. I mean, when was the last time that we had like a meme come out of nowhere and run to couple $100 million, maybe even $1 billion plus? When was the last time we had a meme that, do that? I can't even remember. It's been that long. That looks dead. This thing looks dead. That thing looks like ass. Pardon my French. Well, look at that UST. Jesus Christ. Anime is getting a push, up 20% today. I wonder why. That is the coin from Azuki NFT collection. Mog. I mean, it's just, these look horrendous, don't they? Floki. I wonder where that one is that I was on about 4. So that's all. Oh, that's all. Oh, look at that actually yesterday. Look at the push that got yesterday. That's all the way back to the start. this was one that I was always talking about as well. You know, kind of similar with Pengu and stuff. In that I was interested in. Let's see, so that retraced 30%. That had a really interesting candle yesterday. That though. But yeah, this was one where I was always interested in this, but I was just kind of waiting for it to come down. And you know, kind of like Pengu, Fartcoin, and obviously Bert that I was looking at as well. They just kind of eventually have traded into them areas. But you know, full disclosure, I haven't taken any position on them yet. Dude, look at Dude. While the rest of the market is fairly quiet. Obviously, this rallied up, retraced back down, and then is on its way back up. Now, when you look at this, if you look at this, obviously, you know, compression, rally, back down. Where did it come back to? Obviously into the origin and then rallied. When you look at that and then you look at something like, you know, Pengu, you know, same thing, obviously a bit of a higher time frame, you know, it took a bit longer, but you know, back to the origin of the rally. Fartcoin, you know, back to the place where it rallied from. Structure wise, if you just remove the ticker and you remove emotion out of it and whatever your thoughts are and stuff like that, if you actually just look at the chart, I think a lot of them do look obviously at the point where market structure wise, you know, simple wick off movement, you can suggest to say, okay, you know, these are starting to look interesting for sure. I think we could definitely suggest that. But yeah, I think overall, definitely looks fairly interesting. This thing I have no idea about. That thing is just like, that's just like a sitting duck at the moment, isn't it? Until it kind of reclaims this area. So until pump reclaims 2.4 on the daily, it's just kind of like a sitting duck for more downside or upside. Who knows? But I do think memes are looking interesting to me. So we'll see how it plans out anyway. Let me know in the chat what are you guys looking at, and please do, of course, make sure you drop a like. We are in YouTube jail at the moment, so it'd be good to get out of that, and you guys can help me obviously by dropping a like. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas, what you're looking forward to, what are your traditions. Personally, I don't have that many traditions around Christmas, I'll be honest. I kind of need to form some new traditions, I think. And it's this might sound just like a funny thing to say, but the thought of forming new traditions is a massive pain in the ass because it takes so long to form them, doesn't it? For something to become a tradition, especially, you know, if you're talking about a Christmas tradition, you're talking probably at least 3 years, aren't you? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not thinking 3 years down the line. So it's kind of a bit iffy. Like, our Christmas tradition used to be go to pub on Christmas Eve. That was always a staple, and that was a staple for about 5 years. And then I just kind of stopped doing that because I got fed up of being hungover on Christmas Day. But I think to form a tradition, you're probably talking at least 3 years, aren't you? And if you don't really have that many traditions, it's a bit of an annoyance to think about forming them because you have to think of something that you want to do around Christmas or a specific tradition you would like to do, and then start doing it, and then do it again next year, and then it kind of becomes a tradition. I think I will go to pub on Boxing Day. Again, that was something that I used to do a lot, and actually something that I have carried on. You know, I did go to the pub on Boxing Day last year, so I think I may carry that on into this year. How's it going, everyone? Yes, Scottish, how we doing, mate? We were just looking at meme coins, to be honest. We're just looking at meme coins. I think a few of them are tickling me. I will not lie. The tickling my taste buds. So, yeah. We're just obviously discussing them structurally. You know, not doing any guesswork, looking at them structurally. But yeah, Scottish, how are you, mate? How are you? What traditions do you have, Scottish? Someone say something Christmassy in the chat, please. So the majority of you guys think that the yearly candle is going to close green. Interesting. I would say at the moment, I agree with you. I do actually favour a rally now into Christmas and into potentially the new year. Not financial advice, of course. Don't take that as gospel that we're going to go up. But I do think the way that Bitcoin's looking, I think it could be ready to test the upside. Of course, I'll get the poll out for US Open as well. Yeah, some of these are looking interesting for sure. I mean, if you look at that, so that would be on 2x. That would be 100% P&L there. We'll see. I do think memes though. I could definitely pick out. I could probably pick out 4 or 5 memes at the moment where I think. And again, I don't have all the memes on this list. You know, there may be ones that look better, but I could definitely pick 3. I mean, my 3. If I had to pick, you said pick 3 memes now that you think could potentially do well in the event. And you got to remember, this is in the event of a Bitcoin reversal. You know, Bitcoin needs to lead. I would probably pick SPX, Fartcoin, and Pengu. They will kind of be my 3. So you have a family meal and watch movies, pretty boring, but nice to spend time with the whole family. There's not much other. Boxing Day football more exciting. Yeah, mate, I'll be going to pub on Boxing Day this year for sure. Watch the football and stuff. Yeah, Christmas Day is just a nice day to relax, isn't it? SPX and Pepe, I'm buying more of these, but not just moonbags. Yeah, I mean, Pepe, what's Pepe looking like? Let's see. I haven't looked at Pepe really. Let's zoom out on Pepe. Probably better off going to the weekly chart on Pepe, aren't we? I'll tell you what. Yeah, that is. Wow. I did not expect that. Pepe's just in no man's land, isn't it? I mean, if you actually look on Pepe, I can definitely see why you're buying it, mate, because obviously it's one of the big names, isn't it? If you actually just look at it in terms of a chart and you forget the ticker, you would actually think that it would be coming into kind of like an SR test in and around, like anywhere in and around there-ish. Obviously, I think it would probably rely on the market to take it there, to not necessarily go there itself. But there's nothing. I mean, what else we got? You got this kind of area, haven't you? You know, maybe a test of in and around there, which is kind of done in it. It's basically, yeah, it's done that over the last couple of days. So maybe that is the test on Pepe. I mean, that would be, yeah, you know, that would be a pretty deep sell-off from there, wouldn't it? So I can't imagine. I mean, if it goes minus 50%, something's really gone wrong in the market, isn't it? You know, I'm at SPX bull. Yeah, mate. I mean, personally, yeah. If I had to pick 3, I would pick SPX, Fartcoin, and Pengu. Those would be my 3 I would pick. So yeah. I mean, who knows what we could do with them? But yeah, that's. If I had a gun to my head and I had to say, right, Bitcoin's going to get some form of upside, what could perform the best? Those would be my guesses anyway. We got 45 minutes until US Open. What have we got? I think after the rubbish meme cycle this time around, we should see a surprise and run out of nowhere. Yeah, maybe. Look at Beat. Do you know what? Aki V8. I was actually looking at Beat because I was looking at it on here. I think it was on here anyway. Was that? Sure, I saw something called Beat. Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, Ordera Beat. Yeah, has this thing just kind of come out of nowhere? Let's see. I mean, this thing, yeah, seems to have rallied hard. I have no idea what it is. So yeah, this thing is pushing. This thing is pushing big time, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Oh, piss off. I mean, what? That is just a perfect walk up, innit? What I would say is that's giving, I don't know about anyone else, but that to me, the way I'm looking at it, given its rally from 10 cents, that's giving blow off top vibes for me. I mean, the thing has done over a 40x in just over a month, depending on obviously where you take it from to where you take it to. Obviously that's from there, depending on where you take it from. Yeah, but I mean, for me, that's giving blow off top vibes, because at some point, naturally, although we want things to go up only and never come back, eventually they will, charts do retrace. For me, that's giving blow off top. But I mean, what a run! What a run! I mean, depending on where you got in, it's amazing, isn't it? Potentially from down here at 20-30x, even from $1, 4x, 4.5x now, even from $2, 2x. You'd take that in this market, wouldn't you? So yeah, fascinating. I have no idea what it is, and I have no idea what's causing the run up. And again, of course, it's not financial advice, but just obviously looking at the chart, I would say probably looks like blow off top vibes. Don't shoot me if a couple days time it's up at 6, 7, 8, maybe even $10. Just obviously looking at it. Did you see the light rug? Well, I made some money out of that short. No, light. Let's see. I have no idea what this is. Whoa! Look at that. Yeah, I mean, this is the danger in it. I mean, the fact that at some point in that day it was up at 480 and closed 77% down. I mean, that is just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, the fact that something in one day went down 70, it went down even more. I mean, if you actually take it to the low of that day, it was 83%. To where it closed was 77. That's crazy, mate. Congrats as well. Obviously, you made some money out of it. I bet you did. Well done. Well done. Yeah. But I mean, that's crazy, and the fact that something can do that in a day. Again, no idea what this is, but obviously, mate, you made some money out of it, so well done, and I'm very glad for you. But yeah, that is crazy. That thing, again, kind of same thing on this. Someone told me to look at this, didn't they, last week or week before? I can't remember when it was. And obviously this ran up and just approached a standard region of resistance. Light was a project pushed by KOLs and YouTubers claiming some fancy new utility for Bitcoin. Well, it did. What did it do? Almost a 5x from in and around here. Maybe a 5x, yeah. As long as you made some money, mate, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's about how much money do you put in your pocket, innit? It's all that matters. It's all that matters at the end of the day. How much money is going in your pocket? Afternoon Discipline, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Great to see all the people jumping in now. Please do make sure you drop a like on the stream. Help me get out of YouTube jail. I'd be ever so grateful if you could drop a like. I've been good, mate. I've been good. How are you? Are you feeling festive? Are you feeling Christmassy? Let me know your thoughts in the chat as well. And obviously this goes to anyone that's watching. Let me know your thoughts on literally anything, on Bitcoin, on the market, going into the end of the year, next year. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas. Let me know what you're doing maybe after Christmas. Give me anything. Give me anything that you want. We can discuss, we can obviously discuss markets, but we can discuss Christmas. We can discuss New Year. We can discuss anything you want, guys. This probably will be the last stream, obviously, now until next year. So this probably would actually be the last stream. Yeah, because obviously Wednesday's Christmas Eve. This would probably be the last stream now, yeah, until next year. So unless obviously you're in the Discord server, then let's make the most of it, because I won't see you guys until probably 2nd of January. What day is the 2nd of January? Yeah, maybe Friday, 2nd of January. There are a group of them that all name some groups Light and Night. Merry Christmas to you, Rick Mendez. Great to see you, mate. But yeah, it's great to be. Oh no! Look who's here. I was having. Do you know what? I was having such a nice day, and I was having such a nice time. We were having such a great stream, and look who's popped in, Mr. ICT. I've ruined your Christmas. Why? You're saying that you had an accident on Saturday. Nothing to do with me, mate. Why? What have you done now? Scotty says, thanks for your time and commitment the past year, mate. No, you know what? Thank you to you guys. Obviously, for you guys that turn up to the stream, show up. Obviously, you guys that are in Stonksy, or whether you're in Stonksy and CSE, or just one or the other. Thank you to you guys. Or, simply if you just watch the streams, it's most of the thank you needs to go to you guys. So yeah, thank you, for tuning in, obviously making the streams good, giving me an audience to actually stream for. Massively appreciate it. And it's been a good year, hasn't it? If you think back to the past year, and what's really funny is we could go and watch any stream over the past year, couldn't we? Because it's all on there, all the ups and downs. Bitcoin January making all-time highs, the launch of the Trump coin, into March and April with the the tariff chaos all the way down towards 75k, then all the way back up in the summer, all-time highs in September and October, and then of course all the way back down in November. All that, we've been on that journey together over the past year, and it's been an honor. And we're not done yet. So, and of course 2026 will be a mega year for trading, whatever way it goes. Doesn't matter. As traders, all we need is volatility. After all these months, you've been planning my downfall, and now you have finally succeeded. Well, I'm very glad, mate. I'm very glad. Remember I told you about the bike you imported? I don't actually think I do remember that, no, but carry on. I'll be honest, I don't actually think I do remember you talking about a bike you imported, but you may as well carry on now you've started. Get the full story typed in the chat, because I'm going to go to the toilet anyway. And then, of course, we'll review it when I'm back. What's going on here? What? I don't know what's going on. TradingView seems to have froze there, doesn't it? TradingView doing some mad stuff. Let's get that down to the 5-minute chart. There we go. Yeah, so we can get a bit like, let's see. Is it going to let me? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to run to the toilet. So, make sure you do stay with me. If you haven't yet, drop a like, subscribe, check out BLOFIN in the description. Check out Stonksy. We are running 25% off the annual through Christmas into the end of the year. That link is in the description. Take you to the page to read all about it. And yeah, just chill. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll listen to ICT's story, and we'll have a good reflection over the past year, and obviously Christmas coming up and all that stuff. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Right, I'm back. Oh God, got a bloody novel in the chat by ICT, haven't we? Let's see. ICT writing a novel. So, after all these months, you've been planning my downfall. Now you finally succeeded. Oh, okay, I read that. So now you've got 3 stitches right above my eye. You feel like SHIT. Your chin is covered with a big red wound. The community Christmas tree isn't finished yet. Your phone doesn't have a scratch. Neither does the bike. The only thing with scratches after the accident is your face and hands. Plus, as a bonus, your right knee is swollen. And I need to get fired because out of the whole day, the only time you find time to get a dump is on stream. I didn't go for a dump. I went for a number 1, not number 2. Yeah. Plus, this isn't this stream isn't bloody jail camp. Like, I'm on stream for almost 2 hours. I'm more than within my rights to go to the toilet if I want to go to the toilet. So yeah. But mate, I mean, yeah, sounds like. I mean, you still haven't even told us what happened. You've just been basically just crying in the chat. Let everyone get in the chat and tell ICT how much of a crybaby he is. But you've just been basically crying, mate, saying, "Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got a scratch. Blah blah blah." Tell us what happened, or shut up. But yeah, anyway, following on. We've got what have we got? We've got Bitcoin just kind of moving around, haven't we? Just kind of chugging around, not really doing much. Let's see what we've got. Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's climbing. Nvidia is climbing up to 184. So Nvidia's having a good day. That is up. So that had a good day on Friday, and then it's up almost another 2% today. Apple basically break even. Meta's up 0.5%. Microsoft is up almost 0.5%. Amazon just over. Tesla up 1.3%, and Google up 0.73%. So yeah, good day. Obviously on the Mag 7 in the stock market, as you can see, obviously the S&P up 0.4% on the day so far, leading into open. Small violin, I know, mate. Yeah, listen, you ready? Come here. Playing the world's smallest violin for ICT. There you go. World's smallest violin, mate. Comes in crying, going on about, oh, I've done this, oh, I've done that. It still doesn't even tell us what happened. Yeah, look at them emojis, ICT. You was riding the bike and some car hit you from behind and ran away. Well, that is what you call a hit and run, mate. Quite frankly. So that is, that's actually what you call a hit and run. So, yeah, you kind of, you could always just report them to the police. I would, if I got hit and run. Yeah, mate. That sounds nasty. So hopefully, it sounds like you've got obviously a couple of bumps and bruises. Hopefully, it's not going to affect you too much, and hopefully, you'll be able to finish that community tree, mate. Because time's ticking. It's already the 22nd. You know, if you don't get it done by Christmas Eve, there's no point in doing it, is there? So you have to. You're on a ticking timer. Really, you want that Christmas tree to be done today. Otherwise, you're basically almost past Christmas, aren't you? But yeah, in all seriousness, mate, I think you should probably report it, and hopefully, it's nothing too serious. I mean, I was not wearing a helmet on a non-registered imported bike, so can't really report it to the police. Yeah, I suppose you're probably in a position there where you kind of dob yourself in, don't you? If you go and report that, and it's kind of like they say, "Oh, what was you driving?" And you go, "Oh, I was driving this bike. What's the reg?" Oh dear. So yeah, you're kind of like in a position where, yeah, you like you say, you can't really report them because you're gonna dob yourself in otherwise, aren't you? So, gold hit an all-time high today, by the way, for anyone that missed it. Gold is back on the run. I mean, look at that. What a daily candle. It's up almost 2%. I tell you what, does anyone in this chat watch Gold Rush? Does anyone in this chat watch Gold Rush, the TV show on Discovery? Obviously, it's just started another series, haven't they? Season 16, which was obviously filmed earlier this year. But, you know, they were going into it. And obviously, the price of gold rallying over the past year from season 15 to season 16 obviously benefited them massively. But then you're watching it now and thinking, bloody hell, like, you know, they must be rubbing their hands together, because just the higher the gold goes, the more obviously money they make. And at the start of season 15, which would have been, I'm guessing, around March time this year. So the start of season 15, then gold was at like 3,500. No, 3,000. I don't know, whenever it, whatever time frame it was when it started. But yeah, I mean, and then you're coming into this year and think, but if you was gold miner, you know, if you're a gold miner anywhere, but obviously most of them are out in the Klondike, aren't they, in Canada? I think, yeah, Klondike in Canada, yeah. You know, you're going into this year and you're thinking, like literally over the past couple of years, their output will have doubled, tripled, maybe even quadrupled, just because of the price of gold. I mean, if you look at that back to, you know, almost 3 years ago, the price of gold is over doubled. So yeah, I mean, what a good time to be a gold miner. But yeah, I love Gold Rush. Anyone else watch it? I'm keen to know if anyone else watches it. It's a fantastic. I love it. It's probably my favorite series that comes out every single year. But I mean, they must be itching. You know, it's December now, isn't it? I mean, I think their season normally starts around like March time, when it starts to go into spring, obviously, for when they can, you know, get into the ground without it being frozen. They must be itching to get back out there, given the fact that gold is 4,400. Then you've got obviously silver. I mean, silver to new all-time highs, almost $70 now. Silver just on a rip. You've got platinum, covered platinum. So platinum, for anyone that doesn't know, is now also, not this again. There's something up with there's something up with this, you know. There's something up with my laptop, because it keeps holding on to things that it shouldn't. Like, if I grab platinum there, it just doesn't let go. Anyway, so platinum, yeah, I mean, just on a tear, innit? I mean, if you look at that, even from literally, what's that? That's 10 days ago. Platinum's up 25%. This is a metal. This isn't an altcoin or whatever. And platinum is actually at its highest point since the 2008 crash, and almost at an all-time high. But then you've got other ones like, I know, Wiz, Palladium. You know, look at this thing starting to run now. That's not that. Palladium. Let's get rid of that and add that on. You know, all these metals, I mean, just look at them starting to run. You know, look at this. Look at the compression on that across many years. $900, and then obviously the past few months just exploded. All of them. You know, copper. It's like copper on. What other metals are there? You know, copper's starting to run. I mean, look at that. Look at the price of copper. Just up only. What else? What other? I'm trying to think at the top of my head. What other good metals are there? Bronze? I don't know. I don't even know if there is. I can't think off the top of my head. But you've got other ones, haven't you, like nickel and stuff like that as well. But I mean, it's just a complete bull market for metals. It's just insane. Where would be a good entry to long for gold next few days? Want to jump in? I wanted to when it was at 2,600. We got distracted by memes. Oh, mate, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, look at the chart. Obviously, that's on the monthly. If we go to the daily, I mean, where would be a good entry? The problem is it's at all-time highs now, and it's in price discovery, so you just don't know how high it's going to go. I mean, this thing could just carry on going, couldn't it, and not pull back? We just don't know. Obviously, we have this, don't we? So you got this kind of... Hang on, let me get this. You got this kind of region of support from early November onwards, where it's been climbing and obviously just shot up. I mean, you just don't know. You know, if it carries on going up, say if it does this, you know, if it goes up for a couple more days into the end of the year, and then maybe we get a kind of like a back test of this, potentially. Something like that. And then obviously there would be your SR test to go up, unless it breaks below. At the moment, I would probably say that, because, yeah, you don't know what something's going to do in price discovery. This could just go on a charge to 5k now, couldn't it? We could get a back test. It could fall back below and maybe come into kind of this area. Maybe. Again, you know, you kind of see that SR area there. Could come into there for a rally. You don't know until we see it, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it, mate. Yeah. I mean, yeah, what a time to be alive for obviously anyone that trades metals, trades gold, or obviously just hoards gold. What a time and what a run. We've got just over 15 minutes to go until US Open. Hype nearly $20 over the weekend, or last week, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's an insane time, innit? It's an insane time. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Oh, Rejman, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Yourself? I'm all good. How are you? All good. Yeah, mate. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. It's a good time, isn't it? You know, it's a good time. Good time. I mean, should we go and have a look at kind of Bitcoin's year in review? Tell you what. Look at this pattern. What do you think to that? You got this rising diagonal. You got this diagonal for support. And obviously at some point, it potentially may meet to a point of compression. Now, while that obviously would be a good thing for maybe Bitcoin going to 130, 140k, do you think that this is one massive rising wedge? It's definitely a rising wedge, isn't it? I mean, you don't even have to go back that far if you don't want to. You could just take it to there. And Bitcoin is definitely in a rising wedge. Do you think that this is a possibility? Do you think we could go into here in 2026 some point and then fall out of the wedge? It's definitely possible, isn't it? I mean, when you look at it on the monthly, I think I'll definitely, if we do get a break to the upside and we start going to new highs, I'll definitely be monitoring this, because I think any touch towards the top of the wedge, your risk reward is good, isn't it, for calling a top? I mean, obviously, depending on when it comes, you know, if it comes first half of the year, that would be towards kind of 135-ish. Maybe a little spike out, maybe to 140, whatever. But I think the risk reward is decent, you know, for looking at something like this. You're using a lot of data there, right? You know, you're using basically 4 years worth of data. Yeah, let me know what you think in the chat of something like that. Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's not possible? Do you think that it would break even higher than that? Do you think, how low do you think it would go if it did prove to be a rising wedge? But yeah, definitely interesting looking at something like that. But yeah, look, let's go and have a little look at Bitcoin's year. So let's say, so Bitcoin opened the year. Let's mark it out. So where's the 1st of January? Or the first week anyway. Let's just put it there. 30th of December, basically New Year, innit? So there's obviously Bitcoin in review. So obviously let's put in, let's put in that, and we'll name that white. Let's put that year high. And then we'll put in the year low. So there's obviously, when we open, the year high, the year low. All price actions come within here on it. The bulk of the price action obviously coming within this point. This is where we spent ages. You know, we spent the bulk of the year in here. A lot of the year here, here, and here. A lot of time has been consolidating in it. When you actually look at it, obviously this, consolidation, 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 consolidation. So, the actual only parts of the year where we've actually been trending, if we get a little eclipse going there, we was trending downwards here for a little bit. Let's put this in. What would be a nice, let's fill that with that. So we're trending there. We was trending here. We was trending here. And then we was trending here. Not actually that much. When you actually look at it like this, how much of the year has Bitcoin actually been spent in a trend? It's actually only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's, I would probably just put that as 1 week, really. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 weeks. 12 weeks of the year been trending. What's that? Under a quarter, innit? Under a quarter. pretty wild, isn't it, when you actually go and look at it like that, and you actually look at it and say, how many weeks was we actually trending for, and how many weeks have we just been stuck in consolidation? 12 weeks out of the last 52, basically, has been spent in a trend. And again, this is subjective. People may say that this was the start of the trend there, but didn't even. I would call it as soon as we broke out of that demand down there, which would be 1, 2, and then we obviously stopped, didn't we, here? So 1, 2, obviously consolidation. Where did we break consolidation there? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that's where we then formed another range. And then, of course, where did we break out of that range? Here, which was just 1 week. So 8. And then again, began consolidation. I wouldn't say that was a trend, because that was just a little tip over all-time high. It was mostly spent in there. 9, 10, 11, and then 12. And then, of course, began consolidation again. So, yeah, Bitcoin has been trending for just 12 weeks this year. The rest spent in consolidation. So what does that show us? That shows us, 1, when the volatility kicks in, you really need to take advantage of it, whether that's to the upside or the downside. And 2, it's very much a range trader's market. So if you're not that much of a range trader, you maybe need to adapt your trading going into 2026, because the evidence obviously shows us this year, the majority of the time has belonged to people that simply just slap Bitcoin between support and resistance. You've had over 3/4 of the year to just slap it between support and resistance. Yes, how are we doing, my man? Good morning to you. Great to see you. Great to see you. But yeah, did you know that? Did you know that Bitcoin has spent just 12 weeks out of the past year in a trend? My phone charging it, yeah. But yeah, pretty interesting actually to go and look at that. But today, we've had a good push up, haven't we? We've had a good push up. Let me know in the chat what are your thoughts and feelings on Bitcoin at the moment, maybe going into the new year. Let me know. Obviously, you're feeling very Christmassy. I'm going to close out the poll now. So that's with 64% thinking up. So we've got US Open coming at us in 7 minutes. Do make sure you drop a like as well, please. Dropping a like at the moment is really important, because YouTube is punishing us for changing our stream schedule. So yeah, let me know. I feel like over the next 2 or 3 weeks, coins are going to outperform Bitcoin for the Christmas. Do you know what? I completely agree. I think, and we've been looking at this, haven't we? Just this whole time that Bitcoin's been ranging down here, there's definitely been signs of life in ETH, Sol, and then obviously trickling down to others. I think if Bitcoin gets a 10%, anywhere between 5 and 10% pump from here, I think, yeah, I agree, mate. I think it could really make some altcoins shine, which would be good. It'd be nice to see as well, wouldn't it? I think they're kind of just waiting. I mean, if we go to the daily on Sol, now what have we had on the daily on Sol? Now, obviously, we've had a strict range built, haven't we? Strict range built. Obviously, resistance up here, support down here. However, for those of you that have watched the streams for a while, may recognize something in here, and I've only just noticed it myself. So over the past kind of year, we've noticed, and obviously been during times we've looked for a certain pattern on Bitcoin and ETH, which have played out in a few different circumstances, and you can see it kind of playing out on Sol now, which is basically when price is range bound, and then at some point you get a fake out to the downside. If you reclaim, then you look for expansion. So that's basically the pattern: is range, fake out to the downside, clear liquidity, and then grind up, break the range at the top, and then expand up. If you actually look at Sol now, we've had exactly that, haven't we? You know, you've had, and it doesn't really matter too overly where these lines are drew, but basically there's your range, there's your fake out to the downside. We're now reclaiming it. As long as Bitcoin holds up, and again, obviously, you know, the market is very, very much delicate to Bitcoin's situation, but I mean, I would be looking at that, and you know, we've seen this play out on Bitcoin and ETH, haven't we, many, many times. I would say that's definitely a bullish sign. Not confirmed, because yeah, you know, if Bitcoin goes all the way back down, Sol isn't just going to magically start breaking towards 150, 160 on its own. But definitely looking for that pattern. I mean, it looks pretty good, I think. ETH obviously doesn't have that pattern on it, but ETH looks good as well. So watch out for it. Honestly, watch out, because I don't think it will take much on Bitcoin to really get this market going again for a short period of time, at least. Again, of course, that's not financial advice. It doesn't mean that Sol is going to do that. It's just obviously one pattern that we look out for, and at the moment, Sol has shown the second part of the pattern. Obviously, third part will be a push up to resistance, and then fourth part, break out of resistance, and then expansion. So definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. Sol or ETH. I mean, I think they both look good, to be honest. I think they both look good. I think you could just take your pick. Obviously, I think definitely over the past few weeks, ETH has outperformed Sol. You know, there's no doubt about that. If you look at, obviously, you know, ETH has basically just been making higher lows on it. You know, you've got obviously low, higher low, higher low, where Sol has been more range bound horizontally. And of course, you know, went to a new low, didn't it, last week. So out of the two, ETH has been the stronger one for the time being. But I think, you know, you could definitely pick arguments to choose one or the other, or simply both. I don't think there would be many complaints if you chose both at the moment. You're looking at them two, aren't you? Out of all of them, you're looking at them two and thinking, you know, they're the ones that you want to see move. Oh, God, blimey. We got just over a minute to go until US Open anyway. So we'll see what we're going to get on Bitcoin. I mean, we've had a grind up, haven't we? So maybe it's a case of we either carry on to the up, or do we pull back? The good thing, obviously, is that the S&P and the Mag 7 look like, you know, they're pushing on. So we'll see what's delivered for Bitcoin on Open. But hopefully it can carry on grinding up. You make sure you drop a like on the stream. It will help me out massively. But yeah, I tell you what, it's been a long year, guys, hasn't it? It's been a long, long year. It's been a long, long year. Gonna get my bell out. It's a bit of a an interesting turn of phrase in it, but you know what I mean. And I'm ready to ring it for you guys in 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. That is probably the last time that we'll ring the US Open bell until 2026 now. Sad times, sad times, guys. But of course, we'll be back better and bigger than ever for 2026 on this stream. Jeff, how are we doing, my man? Great to see you. Great to see you, Jeff. Yeah, probably the last time I'll ring the bell in 2025. After, last stream of the year, I think today. So take it in, breathe it in. Really give yourself a minute to think what a year it's been. Bitcoin on open, we're not getting a huge amount of volatility so far. We'll go back and have a look at the whole year in review like we just did as well. For anyone just jumped in. But yeah, obviously I'd just like to take a moment to say thank you to you guys for tuning in and watching. Obviously those of you that are a part of Stonksy, whether you're a part of CSE, whether you're a part of both, or whether you simply like to come and tune in to the streams. I massively appreciate you guys taking your time and jumping into the streams, watching, engaging in the chat, all that good stuff, because of course you give me an audience to entertain and obviously run these streams. So honestly, thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully we're going to have a great year next year, plenty of opportunities. How's everyone feeling? Did they did this year? Personally, I held up about as well as a piece of bread soaked in water, mate. Well, that's going into next year, all you can look at is doing better in it and moving on to the next, the next challenge next year. I think what you should do, and this goes for everyone as well, no matter how well or badly you think you've done this year, is honestly take an hour of your time before 2026 or before you plan on coming back to trading. If you're going to take a break, definitely do this, is actually go through and outline what you think you did right this year, what you think you did wrong, and actually write it down and analyze it, because then it'll actually go in. If you think you've made mistakes or you think, you've done things poorly in some areas, some decision making, whatever it may be, actually go and review it and write it down. And then obviously make a note of what you're going to change going into next year. That genuinely actually will help you, a bit of journaling, bit of self-reflection, and obviously outlining your goals for next year. Make sure you do, because it is important. Does Solana have some potential lawsuit against them and Pump Fun, or just BS? I don't know, mate. I'll be honest. I've not seen anything. I'm not too sure. From who? It seems like there's not going to be much regulation or regulatory backlash from the US at all. Done it now. Like, they are basically just throwing out every single case. The SEC and CFTC just open arms, just saying, come in, do this, do that. Obviously, while Trump is in office too, you would imagine that the fact that Trump's coin is on Sol gives it some really good credibility. So I don't know, mate. I've not seen anything personally, unless I've just completely missed it. Pump Fun, on the other hand, is a different story, innit? Pump Fun, potentially. Who knows? Could do. I still have 10 scars. That was some bit of me. That was mad, yeah. And you got to think, Jeff, whatever kind of losses and damage you took on that, there genuinely will have been some people that didn't make it out of that. And I've seen people on X, right, basically like that just completely wiped them out. So whatever happened, mate, obviously, hopefully, it didn't cause you too much damage. But there genuinely actually was people with even tens of millions of dollars, tens of millions. I remember seeing one guy wrote that he had about $30 million. He'd climbed a ladder to like $30 million. And for whatever reason, whether he was even just on 2x or whatever, but he basically got completely wiped out. So obviously it's never good to take damage and stuff in it, mate. And hopefully you didn't get anything too bad, but yeah, mate, I mean, there was some even pretty big people, even just completely getting wiped out on that. So, yeah, I think, that was just a crazy day, wasn't it? We've had a little drop on Bitcoin, haven't we? Kind of whipsaw if you look at that 5-minute candle. It's a bit of a whipsaw low time frame all the way up to 90,200, then back down to 89,650. Bit of a whipsaw. Tough year, says Paul. I lost a shed load the first 3 months of the year. And in the last 3 months, I'm happy to be in a small profit despite the challenges since 1010. Yeah, mate, that's what it's all about. You know, it's what it's all about, isn't it? Like I said, you know, if you're alive and kicking in the market, genuinely, you know, there'd be people that probably won't ever recover. Maybe you know, completely lost everything and had to completely start again. Who knows? I mean, that's probably the maddest thing we'll ever see. You know, people will talk about the COVID crash and stuff. While it was obviously mental because Bitcoin itself went down 50%, that was something over a couple days, couple weeks, wasn't it? Obviously, towards the end, it's sped run itself, you know, speeded up and really crashed hard. But the fact that altcoins lost 80 to 90% within 15 minutes, I don't think we'll ever see something like that again in terms of the speed and velocity. But yeah, Paul, mate, you know, I think, you know, you've got the right outlook. You know, it's been a hard year for sure, and trading conditions have been hard. And obviously, you know, the loss of value in altcoins, especially. But, you know, the fact that, you know, looking at the positives, I think is a good way to go about it. And like I said, you know, taking the time to journal and actually do your year in review and look at what went wrong, what you think went right, obviously how you can improve going into next year. That's all experience, isn't it? You know, whatever everyone's been through this year in terms of trading, it's all experience to take into next year. You know, you are leaving 2025 a lot more of an experienced trader and having seen a lot more than obviously the start of the year. So going into 2026, you can take all that and say, right, you know, I've learned a hell of a lot over 2025. Whether you leave in 2025 in the red or in the green, you can take massive lessons and go into 2026 with a shed load of more knowledge, obviously maybe a better plan, better positioned, whatever. And obviously then head into 2026. Remember, it's a blank canvas. You know, whether you've ended this year in the green or whether you've ended it in the red, just remember, 2026, forget it. You know, completely forget it and move on. 2026, new year, and plan your goals. You know, there's no point hanging on to it. If you are in the red and it's playing on your mind or whatever, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. Blank canvas, clean slate, 2026, starting capital. I want to do, by the end of the year, I want to get to this. This is how I'm going to do it. You know, this is how I'm going to risk manage each trade. This is how I'm going to do whatever. I'm only going to take trades on Stonksy on these time frames, or I'm going to, you know, follow Stonksy on the background, each and every background on this time frame, whatever, or however you want to play it. We are getting a Bitcoin sell-off now, back down to 89,500, which isn't surprising given how much we'd pushed up earlier today. But yeah, I think, you know, just, yeah. It's a new year coming up. Fresh, clean slate. Remember, you know, whatever you've seen and experienced this year, it's all experience, and you are leaving the year far more experienced trader than you was at the start. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, people wish that they was around in crypto in 2013, 2015, maybe, you know, even 2017, 2018. Because obviously then people at the moment will have seen 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of price action and be very experienced. But remember, you know, going into next year, you've got another year under your belt, you're another year experienced, and you've got that edge over someone that maybe will come into crypto next year brand new, or maybe brand new to trading. So, you know, you are a lot more experienced than you was at the start of this year. Again, you gotta try and take the positives. But yeah, do make sure you drop a like, of course. Yeah, we're heading back down. So yeah, bit of a dump on open. But again, not something massively unexpected. We did have a good push up today so far. And if you look on the hourly, you know, we basically started this move, didn't we? After the drop off on Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's got that push down, and then of course that's when we started this move up. So naturally we're going to get some retracement to a point, because you know, we're not really in the conditions where this is just going to go up only for 10k, is it? But let's see, obviously, where it subsides. I think, you know, looking at the low time frame, there's obviously a little bit of SR in there potentially. You know, you could definitely say reason for in there, which if you pull it into there, we've already tagged that. Very low time frame price action. Let me know in the chat anyway. Kind of give me your roundup thoughts for the year, because yeah, this will be the last stream of the year. So the last stream of the year before take a break, obviously going into the new year, and then back streaming after New Year's Day. But this is Bitcoin's year in review, so we've done it. You know, we've gone back and done the data, and interestingly, obviously you've got the year, you know, the week where Bitcoin put its yearly opening here. You've got the year high, the year low, but also the trend on Bitcoin now. For obviously anyone that's just joined before, after we looked at this, Bitcoin has only spent 12 weeks out of the past 52 in a trend, which is of course less than a quarter. So most of the year has been spent range bound, hasn't it? You know, if we actually go back and look, obviously yearly open, we were stuck in this range. We then got 2 weeks of trend, in my opinion anyway. You know, we got obviously range breakdown here and then follow through. And even though we did go a bit lower here, I wouldn't consider that the trend. I would consider that the start of consolidation. All we did was simply sweep the low. So we had 1, 2 trend, and then obviously consolidation. After consolidation, we had then breakout, and we had 5 weeks of trend up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then entered another phase of consolidation where we just had 1 week of trend. As you can see, broke out, new all-time high in 1 weekly candle. Began another phase of consolidation, which again, I wouldn't call these trend at all. I think that was, again, just, you know, a little pop-up above the range. And then, you know, started the trend. Again, you know, to be fair, it depends actually how you think about it. You could actually say that is the trend. Really. And in that case, I would actually, looking at it now, I would actually probably say I agree that really the trend was just 3 weeks, because again, you know, similar to that, is that weekly candle was actually still range bound within the range, wasn't it? So it was only actually that one. So in that case, it's actually only 11 weeks out of the past 52 that have been in the trend. 11 weeks out of the past year. So what does that tell us? It tells us a few things. Firstly, when we get a trend, you better make the most of it. Because, you know, obviously it's the minority of the time in it. The minority of the time is when we spend it in a trend. So when we do get a trend breakout, you better make the most of it and you better capture it, because otherwise you then obviously waiting to range trade it. And of course, the second point is the majority of the time Bitcoin is ranging. So trading between support and resistance, trading momentum shifts between support and resistance, trading it in and around a range is obviously where the majority of the time that Bitcoin spends, and obviously the majority of the time where you can make your money. So they're the two takeaways. And I think obviously going into 2026, we might not get this. We may get more time spent in a trend, but I'm pretty sure 2024 was kind of the same, wasn't it? If you look, obviously, start of the year spent in consolidation. We then get kind of 4 or 5 weeks of trend, then entered a higher time frame, like kind of downward trend, but again, volatility wasn't there really, was it? And then obviously the trend came then across them weeks. So 2024 was actually a lot less trendy than 2025 even was. So over the past 2 years, the price has basically been range bound for most of the time, and the trend comes very few amount of times compared to the time spent ranging. So yeah, when we get that injection of volatility and break range to the upside or the downside, you better make the most of it, because it doesn't come very often, and we spend most of the time stuck. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at. You're still alive, yeah? Yeah, still alive. Typically, Bitcoin top and Bitcoin bottom in each cycle between 8 to 13 months. Given that, we should bottom around September 26th, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, and this brings up the bigger argument, doesn't it, of whether the 4-year cycle is dead or alive. At the moment, we're keeping to the 4-year cycle because obviously Bitcoin's topped within that time frame. So you'll obviously have people arguing whether Bitcoin is in the 4-year cycle, whether the 4-year cycle is broken, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Basically, at the moment, the 4-year cycle is intact because we've topped and then sold off. The only way that anyone actually proves if the 4-year cycle is dead or not is if Bitcoin goes on to create a new high in 2026. And it's as simple as that. I wouldn't really get too fussed about, arguing with people or reading too much into, people's takes on 4-year cycles and stuff like that. Literally, the evidence is Bitcoin needs to break above all-time high to put the 4-year cycle is dead theory in true. Otherwise, it's just pure speculation and guesswork, because Bitcoin topped out in and around the time period after the halving that other tops have come in, and then we've sold off. So the only way Bitcoin breaks the 4-year cycle theory is if we go to new highs. Until that, you can play it as though it's a 4-year cycle, and there's no point kind of getting too caught up in it. I'm guessing, Scottish, you're adopting the 4-year cycle theory and looking for obviously that retracement after a cycle top, in line with obviously that the halving is 2 years away in March, I think. So, if, say in your scenario, Bitcoin bottomed in September 2026, if, that was the top, then that would put the halving a year and a half away, which again, would line up with obviously when Bitcoin then starts getting anticipation of the halving. Has been great tuning in the last few weeks. Hope Sancho's kind to you, mate. Well, Alistair, thank you for joining. Make sure, of course, I'm guessing you already subscribed, but make sure you come back for next year, mate. This year has been fantastic. Like we can see, we've had many ups and downs, and the main thing is been on stream for basically all of this year, and we've discussed, planned, and obviously theorized all of this price action, and it'll be the same for 2026. This time next year, hopefully, we'll all be sat here and we'll be saying, we'll be saying, this is Bitcoin's year, and analysing obviously what it does between here and here. So yeah, should be good, mate. Will there be a 30th of December stream where we discuss everything like what happened in crypto 2025? Not really, no. After today, I'll be taking a break. You gotta remember, mate, I've streamed for a full year, apart from obviously taking a couple weeks off for just annual leave. I've basically been non-stop 5 days a week all year. So yeah, I need a break. I did actually put a video out on the Stonksy channel last week. I don't know if you watched it or not, but this basically highlighted, I went through January to now, and I basically covered, the key events on Bitcoin and the market for the whole year. So I've kind of already done that in this video. So make sure you go give it a watch if you haven't. Yeah, I've already kind of covered it. I basically just outlined, obviously, from January 2025 to now, what happened on Bitcoin, the key events. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Go check it out. And obviously anyone else, go check it out. But yeah, that's kind of Bitcoin's year. 11 weeks trending out to the past 52. Not much at all. So off from today. When are you returning back? I'll be doing a video tomorrow. So obviously the videos I've been putting out. I'll be recording a video tomorrow. So a video will be going out tomorrow. I'll be recording that and putting that out. And then after that, the content will return after New Year's Day. So probably the 2nd. I will probably do a stream on the 2nd of January. Until then, within that break of kind of like whatever it's going to be, like 10 days or whatever, you can catch me in the Stonksy Discord. I will be staying active in there. I'm talking about other stuff like how President. Okay. I did cover that. I did cover obviously the launch of the Trump meme coin. That was in the video because obviously that was a key event in January. So that's in the video. Yeah. So go watch the video, mate. Go watch the video. Yeah, no, thank you for everyone that's joined in. Obviously, again, I hope you got hairs in my mouth from this hat, I'm guessing. Thank you for joining in this year. Thank you for participating. Hope you've had a good year. If not, again, whether you had a good or bad year, make sure you do that year in review journal. Go and look at everything that you did. Go and look at your good performance, your bad performance, outline what you're going to change going into next year. It's been a great year of streaming. Obviously, I will have a video out on the channel tomorrow. And then we'll be back after New Year's Day. If you do want to join Stonksy, if you haven't, we've got 25% off annual running throughout Christmas into the end of the year. So that link to take you to this page is in the description. Obviously, 25% off annual with code 25Xmas. Go claim that. Obviously, you can read more about this. Links in the description. But yeah, it has to be the most historical point in history of crypto. I think, yeah, I mean, you struggle to think about what is bigger than that? What is bigger than the president launching his own coin? The president of the United States launching his own coin. That is like, that's huge, innit? In terms of like individual events, that is like, yeah, it's crazy that actually happened. Is Stonksy Discord part of I'm guessing you meant CSE Discord or separate? It's separate, mate, but I am in the CSE one too. I am in the CSE one, Alistair. The Stonksy Discord is obviously only for Stonksy users. So I'm guessing you're in the CSE Discord, which you can get me in there, mate. I am in there. So if you do obviously want to tag me in a message or whatever, or DM me, you'll find me obviously in there by typing in my name. But yeah, the Stonksy one comes part of the package of being a Stonksy user. Now obviously you do get access to Stonksy. So you get full access to Stonksy if you're on the premium annual plan. So obviously in CSE, if you're on the premium annual one, you do actually get Stonksy for the whole time that you're on premium annual, which obviously then you can get access to the Stonksy Discord. No, I'm not looking at Hawk Tour. I'll look at Trump quickly. I'm not looking at Hawk Tour because that thing just went to 0, didn't it? Not giving that any screen time. This one, I mean, yeah. You struggle really know what to say to this, don't you? Because again, the problem with this is there's no evidence to suggest where we could bounce from. I think obviously ultimately, and this may differ on the daily. Now it depends where you want to take it from. You know, on the weekly, you could say, right, I want it to reclaim where it put in them 2 weekly events there, which obviously did line up with SR in and around there. You could then, you know, you could put it maybe down here. Let's have a look on the daily to see if that lines up. But again, at the moment, so on the daily, yeah, you know, it differs. It differs between the daily and the weekly. You know, you can draw different levels. On the daily, you can maybe have it there. It's really difficult because it's currently in a position where it's got no real price action, has it? Apart from that 10th of the 10th wick. So, you know, you could easily see it going down to $4 or $3 from here because you got nothing to say, okay, we should be coming into support, whatever. What you want to see is obviously a reclaim. And on the daily, this zone here kind of looks good in and around the kind of 550 zone. It's a reclaim of 550 because then you've at least got a point where, okay, it's reclaimed where it previously found support. And then you've got a point of invalidation then, haven't you, for your trade? You've got a point where you can say, right, if it starts breaking down from here, then you just don't know where it's going. But then you can start looking to, obviously, upside, which would be potentially towards $8. That red wick goes all the way down to 150. So there's a lot of coins like that. There's a lot of coins with wicks a lot lower, and you know, they haven't filled the wick because obviously a lot of them did go very low. But yeah, thank you very much. I hope you have a great Christmas. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all obviously on tomorrow's video on stream. I'll catch you in the new year. Thank you very much for your time this year. Hope you've had a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.